Would you keep walking if every step brought you closer to pain? This is the journey Jesus took, not away from suffering, but straight through it. Let's walk the road with him, the road of love, sacrifice, and purpose. The crowd roars as Pilate washes his hands. "I am innocent of this man's blood," he declares, but the mob has made its choice. "Crucify him," they shout, their voices echoing against the stone walls of the courtyard. The sentence is passed. Jesus stands silent as soldiers roughly grab him, mock him with a crown of thorns that pierces his brow. Blood trickles down his face as they throw a purple robe on his shoulders, laughing as they bow in false worship before the King of Kings. "Hail, King of the Jews!" they sneer, striking him with their hands. Then they bring the cross, rough-hewn wood that has soaked up the blood of countless condemned men before him. They place it on his shoulders, already torn from the scourging. The weight immediately drives him to his knees, but he rises. The procession begins through the narrow streets of Jerusalem. Some in the crowd weep silently, others jeer and mock. Most simply watch, curious onlookers to history's most significant execution. The stones beneath his feet are hard and uneven, each step a new challenge. The cross weighs nearly 100 pounds of splintered wood. Each step is agony as it digs into his wounded back. But the physical burden is light compared to what it represents: the weight of a world's sin carried on the shoulders of innocence. He stumbles forward, one painful step after another. The sun beats down mercilessly, adding thirst to his mounting suffering. His breaths come in ragged gasps as sweat mingles with blood on his forehead. The first fall comes suddenly. His legs, weakened from loss of blood, buckle beneath him. The cross crashes down, driving splinters into his flesh. The soldiers curse and kick him. "Get up! They have other executions to perform today." This is just business as usual for them. To Jesus, it is the culmination of a mission that began before time itself. He tastes dirt and blood as his face presses against the ground. He rises again, one knee then the other. His breathing is labored now, but his eyes remain focused ahead. Not on the pain of the moment, but on something beyond, something worth every step of this terrible journey. The crowd presses in, making the narrow street feel even smaller. The noise is deafening, shouting, weeping, the ordinary sounds of city life continuing despite the extraordinary events unfolding. In the crowd, a woman pushes forward. It's Mary, his mother. Their eyes meet across the chaotic scene, hers filled with tears, his with a love that transcends his suffering. No words are exchanged. None are needed. She who cradled him as an infant now watches him stumble toward death, unable to ease his pain. The sword that Simeon prophesied would pierce her heart now drives deep as she watches her son's agony. Her hand reaches out instinctively, though she cannot touch him through the guards. The soldiers see Jesus weakening. They fear he might die before reaching Golgotha, robbing them of their spectacle. They grab a man from the crowd, Simon from Cyrene, a stranger just passing through Jerusalem. "Carry his cross," they order. Simon has no choice but to obey, placing his shoulders beneath the blood-stained wood. He feels the weight that Jesus has been bearing, sees the wounds up close, smells the sweat and blood. What began as forced labor becomes something more, a shared burden, a moment of connection with suffering divinity. Even in his suffering, Jesus is teaching us. No one walks alone. Sometimes we carry others, sometimes others carry us. The journey is meant to be shared. Simon never asked for this role. Yet he becomes part of the greatest story ever told, the day he helped God carry a cross. His reluctant service becomes a template for discipleship, stepping in when needed, bearing burdens not our own, walking alongside those who suffer. As they continue, women from Jerusalem line the path, weeping openly. Jesus turns to them, his voice strained but clear. "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children." Even now, with death just hours away, his concern isn't for himself. He thinks of others, their future, their pain, their need for redemption. These words are not meant to dismiss their compassion, but to redirect it. He sees beyond his present suffering to theirs, beyond his cross to the crosses they will bear. Every step brings him closer to Calvary. Each movement costs him more than the last. He falls again and again. The soldiers grow impatient, the crowd restless, but he rises each time. This journey must be completed. This cup must be drunk to its dregs. The path grows steeper as they begin the ascent to Golgotha. His breathing becomes more labored, his steps more uncertain. Yet his determination never wavers. Blood and sweat run down his face. His breath comes in gasps. Yet he moves forward. One more step, then another. The hill looms ahead now, the place of the skull. Golgotha, the end of this road, but the beginning of something far greater. The crowd thins as they leave the city streets behind. The noise fades, replaced by the ominous sound of hammers and tools being prepared at the execution site ahead. Each fall, each drop of blood, each labored step, all of it for love. This cross wasn't forced upon him, he chose it. "No one takes my life from me," he once said. "I lay it down of my own accord." He carries the cross so you won't have to carry guilt. He bears the weight so you can walk free. The bruises on his skin, the crown digging into his scalp, the wounds on his back, all willingly accepted, all part of a plan conceived in eternity. The way of the cross seems like defeat to those watching. A condemned man, bleeding and broken, marching to his execution. But this path of suffering is actually the road to victory. What appears to be weakness is the greatest display of strength the world has ever known. It is power disguised as vulnerability, triumph masked as tragedy, glory hidden in shame. For this journey doesn't end at Calvary. The cross is not the final word. 3 days later, the tomb will stand empty. The one who could barely walk this painful road will stride forth in resurrection power. Death itself will bow before the one who willingly walked the way of the cross. The path that began in suffering leads to eternal glory, and all who follow in his footsteps will find that their own crosses give way to crowns. He was pierced for our transgressions, and by his wounds we are healed. Isaiah 53:5. He carried it all, so you could walk free. Praise the Lord.